Hi, we're back. I'll just flick it over to the chart and then we can see what's coming up. For those of you that don't know, we do have the Members Hub. We also have the Star Sign and Twin Flame subscriptions that are out at the first of each month. We have 2 editions for the Star Signs. And yes, I am moving. So for that added support, if you can't get a reading, we do have the trial edition, and that can give you that added support while I'm transitioning over. So on an FY, if you're needing it, yes. Moving in August. Let's see what we've got coming through for the twin flame connection. So how have we been? Schumann resonance was at 77 yesterday. So I tried to go live yesterday. It just wasn't happening because I couldn't be bothered to go get my camera, right? And I was just trying to use the laptop, and I tried to come live to the members. No members were there. Had to update, what's it called? Thingamajiggy. That's where we were at. Hi, Eddie. How are you? What's new, Eddie? We haven't chatted for gosh knows how long. You've been looking after yourself. I pulled the ruin cast. We have a very, very active time. Yes, it's going to be positive moving into the Leo moon, but you need to stay pretty grounded. Jupiter goes retrograde on the 28th. You got out from work. You just got out from work. How are we doing? Are we having fun? I did say at the beginning of the month, in the ratio of comedy, nobody would take a joke. And I have found Giggle and I have been quite, you know, you get to that point in your twin flame path, you feel you're a little bit like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. So you have to use comedy, but you have to be pretty ascended to do it. You know, so some people aren't gonna take comedy as comedy. It's just gonna, it's gonna be all too serious. So reason Chiron is retrograde. The twin flame connection, honestly, there is movement, there is changes, the rumbles are happening. The rumbles are happening. And that's due to the fact that Juno's in shadow, you know, and so all that Neptunian energy, the Pisces, which will be, okay, what were the habits? What were the patterns? How is this directly impacting divine feminine's health? How is it affecting divine masculine psychology? So both are equally as important. It's almost like as above, as below. And it's trying to keep your fluid up, trying to stay pretty grounded through it and not go down the rabbit hole of that psychological turmoil. But definitely from a 3D, there's going to be a lot of things changing when it does come to the joint connection. Oh, good Lord. We got the Chariot, okay? So this is to do with communication coming in. This is to do with movement. It is the hero's journey, which I was talking about, especially with Scorpio placements. We had the full moon in Capricorn. We're still transitioning away from that as we move to the new moon in Leo. Hi, Stefan. And so it's almost like we're being asked to be courageous, not egoic, not vain, especially with the North Node in Taurus. A lot of us would have been working hard, trying to make things happen. And, you know, that tension point occurring. Schumann resonance, as mentioned on my YILDIZ Readings 5D Facebook page. I just look terrible. but you're most welcome to go have a look. It was, you know, one of those moments you had to be there because it's really the, you know, it's the divine energy of being a twin flame and going, okay, something's up in the hood. Giggle and I were talking about the energy and we were just really very scattered and we were going, where's this coming from? And I went, let's check the Schumann. Now, generally you'll find in your ascension path, if the Schumann is registering high, it's already occurred. So from your ascension path, it's generally the spike of that emotion would have actually happened 3 days prior. And when we're in it and we're visually seeing it, we're already purging and kind of ascending higher. So you can get very kind of foggy in the mind because you're detaching from the ego and we're moving to a higher vibration of consciousness. So yeah, you might have felt like you had the bends. There could have been some nausea. So try and keep the fluid up. You could try ginger and things to kind of calm the nerves, but it can be pretty heavy on the ascension. So we have Eagle. Okay, the ruin cast is Eagle. It relates to Thursday, fire and air. At the moment, we have Mars and Taurus. So we may find ways to keep our wits about us. Mars and Taurus are slow to anger. But if the situation has made you angry a long time ago, it's a little bit too late for that. You know what I mean? So it can be those simmering rumbles of things that are coming up in the joint connection. Plus in your everyday life, it's the year of the tiger, which we went down the rabbit hole about that yesterday. I'm like, is it the ox year or is it the tiger? Which is synchronistic because technically a lot of the astrology at the moment and the spiritual energy is really mirroring back to 2017-18 where we had Chiron and Pisces. Okay, so the connotation is travel, journey, moving forward. It's simply not static, which we have had static, you know. Wheel, hero's journey, chariot. Progress or process. Radio download, very psychic and energy. Wheel pulled by horse, by means by progress or process. Sacred journey, spiritual quest. Change of direction movement. I was seeing the fives relating to the twin flame path. I'm not really keen on the fives. Sorry, I'm not. I had a horrendous time. It was great and the other side of it. But the fives are big changes. They're unexpected. And yes, we have a conjunction happening with Uranus and Taurus. For the next 4 days, you need to be really careful driving, really careful with anything Mars and orientation. So what's Mars? Mars is the planet of war. It can be driving too fast. It may be more accident prone. You could cut yourself, you could burn yourself, you could get into a conflict or a dispute, but you mustn't go too fast and you need to be self-aware. So the zodiac signs that would be needing to be more cautious would be Aquarius, Leo, Libra, Aries, which other one? Taurus, and yeah, could you say Virgo? Yeah, more Taurus, and I've just gone brain fog. Anywho, okay, so esoteric, cosmic order, ritual journey, vision quest, personal destiny. Reverse, status, crisis, rigidity, and wrong actions. And that's some of the things that we're clearing up. So yes, we do learn, and you know, the hero's journey is okay, getting the courage by that Leo moon. We might, even though it is a new moon, it's sun, right? Simultaneously, Jupiter will be going station retrograde. And so I would give it a day. I would definitely give it a day. Probably a great time to charge your water, to charge your crystals, to have that confidence, to have that detox. I'd also balance the inner child during that time in your chakra system to get grounded and the third eye. Now we're going to have a look at the cards and see what is coming through. Let's pull a chakra card. So there is going to be a lot to do with nurturing yourself, looking after your body. Some of you might be looking at, okay, do I need to detox? Is there a habit I'm needing to change? Within the connection as well, spiritually, I did predict that some of you would get to the point you would say to yourself, maybe I'm not a twin. And that's because we have placements in Pisces and through my ascension in a child. Okay, through my ascension, the placements in Pisces linking to the 12th house, there was a lot of purging that I went through. A lot of times, you know, spent sort of on the kitchen floor, so to speak. So that for you guys can be where you have this revelation after of, you know, when the ascension kind of calms down, is this even real? And that's because really linking to the ninth house is to do with spirituality. So I wouldn't be surprised if you go into that questioning mind. Maybe this isn't for me, maybe it's not so. And it's because what is supposed to happen is the letting go. The psychology is what is holding you stagnant. The physical body is saying you need to be fluid like the water. You need to move like the ocean, whereas your body at a psychological level, and potentially because we're having the new moon in Leo, is going to make you from a 3D level try to control it. So it's about almost like the full card in tarot. Being strong doesn't mean aggressive. Being strong means standing for something, not falling for everything. But definitely knowing, you know, what your attention needs to be shifting towards. It can be quite bold, so we can be more confident and assertive. We also can be to the point we can put our foot down with things, and putting your foot down, again, doesn't have to be angry. It's, I'm not going to do that. I unconditionally love you, but that's something I actually can't do. So it can be very, you know, strict and direct. Yes, strict and direct. Okay, so within the joint connection, right? There is a feeling of having to, like, how do you create that healthy boundary, you know? So it's like, what does that look like? Is it shouting no? Is it, this is where I stand? Yes. But then you might go back into that renegotiation, and the alignment from the inner child, the Leo moon, is, you know, your inner child is to do with your feelings. So it's saying, this is where I stand, this is, you know, and sometimes there are things we can't do, and that's okay too. Creatively, you psychologically might have some wounds coming out relating to your twin. You could be really unmotivated and feeling, okay, maybe I need to lower my guard. That potentially can be for some of you. But I feel it's more to do with the uncertainty of, is this a pattern repeating? And I can gospelly tell you, as much as you guys can look back on your path, and Stefan, you're one that could probably answer this as well, of during your time on your twin flame path, we kind of fear that we're going to get the same outcome, but usually each time you go back into the connection, it's never the same, right? So it's very different when you're going back in. It's new things you're addressing. It's new confidence and assertiveness. It's not pushing. It's not controlling. You so purge so much of the ego that you're just so in the wave and of the wave over controlling it. And I think it's fear-based frequency. It's thinking that the same outcome is going to come each time. And please don't think that, dolls, because you can logically look back at your path and know that each time you have had more communication, it hasn't been the same. Your frustration, and the analogy I use on YouTube is, we want the ice cream, but we're scared we can't get it. And so we kind of get into that kind of frustrating feeling of telling ourselves that it's still the same, but is there something we can do that's different to get a different outcome? My dear, yeah. Okay, so, okay, there's some sacrifices, you know, and this is one thing I do feel spiritually, a lot of you will come to a realization of is, and this is in the past position, do I need to, yes, here you go. This is Stefan. Yes, we evolved. Yeah, and it's like the connection, like, what do we call union? You know, some of you actually are in union. You could be single, they can be single, and you're directly in union, but you're in communication, but you're not controlling that person no matter where you are. So it doesn't mean that, because like we get too fixated on what, and again, it's because I got placements in Cancer. I'm only in a connection if I'm being intimate with them. I'm only in a connection if I'm living in the same house. No, that's the confidence, and love lets you grow. It doesn't have, all of your connections will look different. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So what we deem as, when are we in union? It's when you're in union with self, right? So once you're in union with self and you've got that confidence in yourself that you can't lose something that's yours, and you really didn't when you think about it, because some of you actually are with your twin. Spiritually, you're talking to them, but we need to look at where we're criticizing. We need to look at where we're judging, because the unconditional is, where have we done something like they have done before? And I'm not saying enable. That's not what I'm meaning. I'm meaning from a point of view of their processes of healing. Can we be gentle on our processes of healing, right? So we have in the past, we thought we had to sacrifice everything. Now we're kind of looking at that, and it can be egoic. It can go to extremes, and I kind of warned you guys that could happen, which was something that I went through. It came to a point I raised my vibration, technically, but I raised the benchmark. So we get this situation, the twin flame path, where we'll be down here, and they're the kings or the queens, whoever the divine masculine is in the connection. And then you have this realization, well, no, all that glistens isn't gold, and it kind of comes down here. You've got to be careful not to imbalance that scale, which is funny because Libra is a Venus energy, and it's to do with balances. So it's about looking at people maybe from where they are rather than what they need to be for you. So you've got to remember, twin flame path is about healing. So if you go down the rabbit hole and you're looking at readings and things like that, this channel is not like that. I will give you the reading in the context of the energy, but I'll also give you the coaching and some examples that I have found worked to get me balanced, to get me into my personal union and then into the union with the connection, if you so choose to. Having the imbalance like that will end up being a belief system. And because we have the inner child at the moment, it's to do with conditioning. And it's not to say your conditioning is incorrect. It's not to say that the teachings weren't based on something that was of worth and value. It's that we all have been conditioned differently and we can't be the same. So we're looking at it through maybe a one glass over. We should be looking at it from different people's perspectives. Something that you guys were sacrificing before, you're not going to have to. You're actually having a revelation that something in the situation in the joint connection has changed. Some of you could be seeing if they can commit to another, they can commit to you. That is true. But what is commitment? Where you're at on your journey is going to look very different. But there's something to do with sacrifices you're not willing to make at this point. And that's both of you. And that is potentially why the crowning energy is to do with, feeling when you did give more, you got less. I've said this so many times. 40 days to no contact. Giving less and you get stalkers. Why does that happen? Because you are worthy of yourself. You're filling your cup and it's attractive. It's actually attractive when you have the focus on yourself and you've got a hope and dream. And when you're not controlling, it's even more attractive because you're letting that cup come to you. But I would say in your own lives individually, previous to your twin flame connection, or throughout, ins and outs and intervals by having other connections with people, you may have found that those connections made you feel very controlled and very fixed. She has had an amazing level. Yeah, and I did mention that, Stefan, didn't I? So Stefan is within the connection, and we have talked many, many times, my beautiful friend. And in the connection, what you can find is when you let go, it actually flows quicker. And a point, I don't know if you felt this, Stefan, but potentially I remember looking back at my twin flame path and going, heck, he's ahead of me and I'm behind. So it did shock me. They actually ascend quite quickly because we have the placement in Pisces. At the moment, it's moving that quicker. And you probably got all of 3 months and bang, it's going to be popping off. So the question will be, Divine Feminines, are you ready? Okay. So, while we're going, I've been waiting, which I know, okay? But when it does come in, you need to ask yourself, are you ready to walk forward? What have we got? You're not ready. You're not ready. Yeah, okay. So what would you do if they came up to you today? I want some answers in the house. What would you do if they turned up at your doorstep now and goes, I love you and I'm ready? Is there something you need to do? Is there something unfinished? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Is there something that hasn't been finished? Is it an argument? Is it, are we in the vengeful mind? What is it? Are you ready? Are you confident enough to let the past go to see, and how do you know that is so? You usually know because the person has that intent. It's the way they're talking. It's the way they're showing up. Yeah. So a false belief based on what you had to sacrifice, you don't have to. Right? There's something that you guys aren't ready for in the heart. Yep, 2 years. Here you go. We'll have to do a chat. I've got to get Elizabeth on here too. Now that I've got StreamYards, we can actually have people come in the house and we can actually have conversations. And yes, I do have twins that I've coached that are in union. Okay, so you don't, why? Because you don't want any surprises, Styles, right? You're not wanting it. You're like, don't come near me. I don't want your BS. But both of you are doing that. And that's what you've got to equally understand, is both of you in the heart, you want to move forward. The direct intent is there. You're trying to get grounded, you're healing. There's a little bit of crap coming up, right? But the fear-based frequency is, are you going to be mean to me? Are you going to always, attack me and bring crap up? And both of you are feeling this unfinished business. I'm guaranteeing, I'm going to pull a chakra card. I think this is to do with an overdue conversation and the feeling of being judged. It's the mind at the moment. The mind is feeling a little bit like, oh my God, okay, I know how this is going to play out. Do I know how this is going to play out? Am I an ego about this? Both of you don't want any surprises. Both of you do know each other, but you're sort of like, yeah, are we ready to have that Chiron and Aries chat? It's going to be quick. You do know that once, both of you are scared as well, because you do know when you're in the same room together, it gets a bit heated. And you want to go into the context of things because then you become vulnerable. So, yeah, sometimes we do need to actually stop and slow down, but the chemistry between the both of you is so large that half the time you're thinking, if I go there, if I see this person, we're all staunch and we're very, this is how I think it should be, and this is what you got to do. And then you get there and it's like, oh, great, sacral chakra. No, we need to have a conversation, okay? Because that department's probably great. It probably always has been. You don't want it heated. You don't. In good place, yes. Heated, no. You want to get to the context of it. There's some frustration here, yes, but you also want to feel that, it's probably the more traditional thing coming through, that you want more traditional energy of whining, dining, have a chat with me, can I have a hug? But if the pattern has been, oh my gosh, we've had tension, and then usually it's to recharge your energy. So if you have become quite tired and you have been avoiding your twin, you're actually meant to reconnect. So if the communication comes in, you're getting really tired, you need to be open to it, because your chi energy is going to go down. You can reserve this. You don't have to give that. That's going to build your frequency up, but definitely sometimes even speaking, seeing, and talking, when it's pulled together, is there for a necessity, because you guys are joint energy. Okay, at a foundation level, ooh, something big's coming. Okay, there's something to do with a severing of a contract. There also is something coming up where you intuitively know something's coming and it's making you feel more nervous. I do feel divine masculine is looking at an element of paperwork in the mix of this. If those of you that have sent text messages, I do feel there has been either a text message exchange, but there's something they're directly reading. They could also be looking at your Facebook page at this point, or they mention Facebook, so I'm just saying Facebook. So it's like, it's a profile. So it's a physical profile. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, but there's a profile they're looking at, and they're reading something that either you wrote or something about you. But I'm seeing that being shown to me. Intuitively, I feel at a foundation level, both you are very in sync when something is about to go down. But I do feel something is about, some of you, I do feel your twin is actually single. Because the quietness of the meditation, a lot of the reflection is on you. A lot of the private readings I've been doing lately, the one thing I have noticed is the karmic is not venturing. The karmic, even if they're in a karmic relationship, the context of divine masculine's energy is more so coming through from a point of view of where counterpart is, what that would look like, what the money situation would be, how the living arrangements would be, and the obsessiveness. There is a lot of thoughts to do with you. So, and where I would look at the karmic, it was almost like some of those it's like a revelation of acceptance. It's almost you, like Giggle and I were talking about this morning, realizing that you're uncommitted, still remaining in a karmic cycle, even though meanwhile you checked out years ago. So I feel spiritually, I do feel it happened around the Capricorn moon. There was a shift, and I'm kind of feeling divine masculine at the minute inside the connection is already committed to leaving. It's almost this belief that whatever went down, it was that last straw. And, you know, that doesn't have to be an angry thing. But for many, it's almost like the rejection of it. It's like they're not resonating anymore. They're not on that same wavelength, if you understand what I'm saying. Left or right for masculine? I always let you guys choose. It's your reading after all. So yes, they are very attracted to you, right? Confidence at the moment is, I would say, emotionally, you could get phone calls coming through very soon. There's going to be an emotional, heart-centered energy. There can be frustration, guys, so just be super careful at the moment. The frustration due to the transits are there. Oh, divine masculine's going to make a move. Okay, they're going to make the first move. Chivalry. I heard chivalry's not dead. Yeah. This Pisces. There you go. Pisces. Juno, the marriage asteroid, going retrograde. Right. Okay. I've been thinking about you. There you go. There's a song. Who sung that? We have them in the 41 energy, which is good because it's the 1-400. They're trusting in their instincts, definitely from a foundation point of view. They are psychically thinking about you, but they're intuitively thinking about you quite a bit. They feel that in their life that they are cheating on you. Do you get what I'm saying? So and it's really cheating ourselves. When we ever get to that point and we're choosing something that isn't an alignment of a match in vibration and we're putting up with something, we feel like we're cheating ourselves, okay? And that's good. It's healthy to look at it from that point of view. It's like, okay, am I in alignment? Is this serving a purpose? Is this where I am? London Mate, there you go. I've been thinking about you. That was the song, right? So that's my psychic download. When I get these songs, go look at them. They're going to have a subliminal meaning for you. So there's this feeling, yes, there's going to be a lot of jealousy. I do feel they're feeling very jealous at the moment. There can be a little bit of insecurities. Uranus and Taurus is making them address this confidence. And I do feel it's actually showing them that these unfinished feelings that they have towards you, regardless of who they are, where they are, it's giving them that drive and that passion to live life. It's giving them that purpose to actually be here in the 3D, okay? This daydreamy energy is playing up for that. Yeah, it feels both sacral chakra activation, but I'm feeling it's more heart-centered. I feel it's more psychologically connected than just an intimate thing, which is that's a good thing. I mean, you want to have your counterpart think you're attractive and hot and all the rest, but you also want them to be in a spiritual alignment so they can be intimate with your mind. That is the truth. Okay, something old is going. Some old feelings are resurfacing as well. These are memories and flashbacks. They're coming through extremely traditionally with you. They do want the fresh start. Wow, they're okay. Yes, I know you're peeved off. They're taking too bloody long, right? They know this, but they want to get this right. Is there chemistry and lust? Yes, but they don't want, they're taming it, right? They know that that connection's there with you, but they're bringing about that traditional energy because they know it's what's going to bode best. They know what this is. Could some of them be pulled in two directions due to traditions? Yes, but at a foundation, they're very unhappy. So they know that's not going to last very long. Okay, what actions are they going to take? I don't feel the person around them. I feel it's accepted. I feel psychologically they've accepted it. I just don't feel they're in the mix of it sort of looking like, yeah, you know, yeah, this is a separation. This is like, it's like some of them aren't even with them. Some of them may be feeling even conflict with family, just drama. Drama. What are they going to do? Okay. I'm seeing a living arrangement, and I see that the living arrangement is kind of closing. There is something happening either in a physical environment, a home, a family, or a marriage. I'm being shown that they have known this for a very long time. They've been very dissatisfied, very unhappy. It's been a role that they've been playing. They have been, that for some, yes, it can be that the karmic is very bossy, controlling. There does appear to be arguments here. There is gossip also, but I would say this is more, I do feel they're actually, again, like I said, they're looking at your bloody profiles. Okay, the nostalgia of where this connection used to be is dissipating. They know who they love. Each clarity, there you go, Shelley, we got the birds. The doves and the swans. We said we were seeing doves and swans. Doves and swans. Okay. Oh, this is going to get nasty when it comes to money. I feel there's a monetary situation, but again, I don't even think it's keeping them, dolls. I feel, yes, we have to be honest. In life, right, in life, if something hasn't changed and we've been holding on, you think about it. We'll give an example. You're in a marriage and you got your pot of gold and you're like, look, heck, I've been here. I mean, I've had separation, so I actually can directly relate, and I know this is real. So you're in a connection, you built it up, you had every intent to make something work, right? And you poured money into that cup. And you're like, I'm getting on in the years, getting a bit, green around the gills. Okay, I've got to start all over again. The more the contract is entangled, and that can be maybe with house loans and car loans and children. Yeah, the romanticism of what you want, right? But the reality is this is going to be a shit show, right? I need to change my bank accounts. I need to go through a divorce. I need to change my, I need to calm it down when the karmic is, being nice to me with the children. Feminine and masculine. Whatever it is, when you're pulling that away, if you've built something, for a while, you will go to every excuse in the calendar, which is logical, right? It's logical to say, well, okay, I've got social responsibilities. Is it to a boss? Is it to a, because I have children? Is it because you've got a house loan or whatever that be? Yes, the heart wants what the heart wants, but there's also the 3D world, right? So it becomes complex. You do reach a point. You actually, when that tension point comes, it's a little bit like a diamond being formed. It's pushing all of these excuses, and they're realities, but they end up being excuses because there are some things we can't do. That's where the hangman comes in. It's like I've been basing this on a belief conditioning, energy in Cancer. This is what my role is in society. This is how I feel. This is what I have to do. But then your body becomes worn down. Aries and Chiron retrograde. I can't do everything for everyone. I can't be everything for everyone. I can't make everything perfect. Sometimes you're even mapping that years in advance of how your life will look. And I'm not talking in layman's terms of disconnections. I just mean in general. But it turns out totally different. So this is where Divine Masculine is looking at it going, it was going to be this anyway. Separations, both parties get hurt. Always, right? So logically, this person, from what I'm seeing from this pocket group of energy that I'm channeling, there is conflict happening in a family-related dynamic, whatever that be. This could be to do with a separation, something in a sibling rivalry energy. This also can be to do with maybe a person passing, and there's dramas happening there. There may be a karmic in the mix that's unwell and or codependent on them, and it has been a bit of a burden. For some that are single, they're still reflecting upon these things, but what it is relating to their past. Do you get what I'm saying? So they're spiritually letting this go. They knew it was going to go down and it was going to get messy. And the thing is, while they hold on, it kind of delays it now. Okay, they're checking if you're single, right? They're checking if you're single. If this is a partnership that is a marriage, that there is stalking, there is distance with this person. but they're checking if you're partnered, okay? So look out. They're checking your profiles. Divine Feminine, what's coming up with you? You're like, look, I'm fancy free. I want to be free. Maybe I'll just be single. What's your thoughts on purging the spiritual weight? Depends on where the weight is going. There's usually a blockage in that chakra from my ascension process. And, you know, when you start purging and you release and let go, depending on what chakra the weight is held in, you got to be joking. Good Lord. Block. Really? It's actually a compliment when we get trolls. Anyway, thanks for that. Okay. So there is this feeling of wanting to be free, of wanting to, I'm single. I want to be free. I want to be open to be myself. I don't want to have to micromanage myself. I want to be authentic. And I don't want to have to walk on eggshells anymore. So again, the Leo energy is coming through for Divine Feminine, very courageous. Okay, in the past, you're actually looking at, yeah. So I'll talk to you at the end. Stick around and I can give you some tips on it. So I'd say in the past, you might have been thinking Divine Masculine was afraid to commit, but there also, in a mirror sense, would have been things to do with, you know, things that weren't healed, maybe fearing commitment because, you know, it was always going to turn out crap. So this is why it's coming in. But there was some sense of pattern. And now it feels that you guys are probably more prepared for it. You're more prepared for these things. Emotions are coming up, okay? You do miss this person. Love of God. An error has occurred. We're having fun, giggle. Emotions have, you know, come up. Feel free to block them or delete them, giggle. All moderators on the channel. The outcome's good, right? What you're moving towards is having a revelation. And this is why I asked you guys, are you ready for this commitment? Ask yourself right now, am I ready for this commitment? Of course it is. Hi, Ben. If you're ready for the direct commitment, what you can find is you'll flow. You won't be controlling. You'll be sitting there a little bit like Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, but you're not getting scared by the spider. You're just eating your curds and whey, you know. This is what you will get. We have this context and belief that, you know, it doesn't always work out for us. Well, what do we believe doesn't work out for us? What isn't meant for us will be rejected. If you're a twin, in fact, you will reconnect. It is the way it goes. You know, I gave up even telling myself a lie with that crap. It's not real. If you are a twin, you will hear from this person. You have a spiritual contract. You're there actually to heal each other. You're there to accidentally trigger other people, and you won't need to micromanage them, train them. It will naturally just happen in part of their process. It's by leading by example that happens. You're going to get your star, right? You're going to get your start. You have the power at a foundation level, but you need to believe in yourself because there's something from a psychological point of view where this stress is coming from your past, and you need to understand the past is dead. The past is defining you. The past is Abraham Hicksing you. You're manifesting it. You need to stop. This is to do with healing. Dive into that healing. Where the control is coming up, you've got to remember Leo is sun. It's bright. It's happy. Ask yourself, do you love being with you? You know, how are you in your vibration? And from 2020, it's been crap. Let's be honest. But does that mean that because it was crappy, that we've got to have crap every bloody day? Did you today have a good day? What did you do to take your vibration high? To amuse yourself with a bot. Yeah. So stop Abraham Hicksing yourself. You hex it, right? Get that crap right. Your magician. Third eye. You know, Tesla spoke about this. Co-creativity, divine feminine energy. You can manifest anything you want. You are it. You can create it right away. The problem is we are so conditioned to grab back from the past because we're very monkey-minded, okay? So if I said to you, how are you going to make $1 million? Well, I'd have to have a bloody good idea, maybe an innovator. And you would break down a process. But what we directly forget, because we're too egoic, is you could actually win lotto. Somebody could gift you that. You can inherit that. But because we're too boxed with our twin flame path, with manifestation, we go into the third eye doesn't manifest. The third eye brings jinn shit, right? It brings because it's egoically, it's controlled, yet you don't trust. It's crazy how we believe in signs and synchronicities, right? But then when we go down the rabbit hole relating to our journey, we're too 3D or too 5D. And we have to be both because both polarities exist. X-Files, both exist. Neptune and Pisces. So have you noticed, if you look back in your life, you had a chain of very unfortunate events. Why? You had thought it. Oh my gosh, what if this happens? Oh my gosh, what if that happens? So you're preempting and you're sending that signature into the matrix, and everything I bloody was scared of, I manifested. And I know, and I laughed my butt off, because when I now manifest, it happens in moments. I have to be extremely careful how I manifest it so quick. To the point, even thinking on a person, I can manifest very quick. So your conditioning, what you're holding on to, it's the devil, right? It's the monkey mind, the traditional polarity. This is who you are when you let go. So what does letting go mean? Could you just sit here like little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey and actually believe you're going to receive? And that can be a phone call, that can be movement, that can be everything your heart desires. Or if you got that angst coming up through the third eye, it's because these memories are haunting you. And we tend to say, but I'm doing all the work and they're not doing it. They are doing the bit because you're actually joint connection. You get that, don't you? Giggle and I were talking about the fact that our twins' furniture was the same. You mirror each other. I would turn up and hadn't seen him years and years and years, and he'd wear the same bloody clothing as me. And at the beginning of the journey, we were very different. I was uptight. He was fancy free. I embodied the element of my divine masculine inside of my life because the projection is the reflection. I had to integrate it. And when I did, it was like, well, now it's a choice to be with twin, not control, not I am him and he is me. Does that make sense? He showed the light of what I was lacking, and I showed him the light of what he was lacking. And now it's in duality. Who knows how long? I would never suss universe that way. I'm kind of sitting here nodding my head too. Is that why I come to the channel to... Well, hopefully, maybe it just restates what you kind of need to read. I listened to, I think it was, who was it? Sting. Or Coldplay. Coldplay's got a new song out. And I literally had to give gratitude. It's like, oh my gosh, this man is John Lennon of this generation. I mean, I love it's just, it always, you get the signs and synchronicities at the right time, and you're like, you know what, I bloody needed that. To hear something that is just high vibe, it's from the heart. It's, yes, we do need tribe, but we are the tribe. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like we will attract good and dark, and we need both, or else we wouldn't aspire to be better. So you can't eradicate bad. It's part of the ecosystem. You can't eradicate good. It's light. And what happens when you ascend? You'll get a lot of psychic attacks because you're good. And it doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you're attempting to be the best version of yourself you can be. So spiritually, I feel at the moment, you're little Miss Martha sitting on her tuffet, right? But you've got to get out of that mindset of believing some crap's going down. You've got it in the bag. Nothing can break you. It's already broken you. Right? You guys are so bloody quiet. Am I being mean? You got it, right? This person already loves you, is attracted to you. You're going to have your success. If you're doing the work on yourself and you're loving and forgiving doesn't mean, hey, what you did was cool. And it don't mean to say that everything you did was cool either. It's okay. Ask yourself the question. When we are going down the rabbit hole of that ego and the pain and the thought and the fear, where is it taking you? It's back to reenacting that story, that show. And if it was a shitty show, you don't want to co-create that. Right? You don't want to get back into, it's always been this way. They've always done this thing, because you're actually re-manifesting it. Not everything that was done to you was because you were bad or inadequate or, you know, not good in bed, not attractive enough, not worthy enough. Sometimes we embody a little bit too much masculine, so they feel inadequate, right? Because we do everything. Nobody asked us to do everything. This is what masculine and feminine are learning at the moment. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You can't. Nobody asked you to be. Right? Nobody asked you to be. It can be a devil of a thing. This person here is going through a disconnection of a situation in a 3D. You are doing it on a 4D, not 5D, 4D, which means belief systems, egoic purging. Can the masculines at the moment be off in la la land with crown chakra? Yeah, but not in a bad way. Astro travel, psychic energy, looking into the occult and mysticism, maybe looking at a tarot reading. But it doesn't have to be cookie cutter just as you do it. You know, a lot of people do talk about you know, the false twin and meeting a twin. What you've got to get is you can attract at a portion of your journey another twin, but it will be the mirror to who you used to be, which is usually, if you were the feminine, right, and you embodied divine masculine in your life, you're going to attract a divine feminine to show you level up, right? The growth. There's something to do with okay, divine masculines are looking at children differently. I don't know what that's got to do with. Let's see. Should we say? Would you like me to pick a few cards for the karmic? Or do we just leave that till the release comes? How many of you feel the karmic has power? I want you, your hands in the air. How many feel in your direct situation at the moment, the karmic has power over this connection? Lower chakras are to do with control, unhealthy boundaries. So if you're giving your power away, we'll go back to that question. And I'm happy to answer your general questions. Private questions will be super chat. Where is it? It's all the way at the top. I'll find your question. Beautiful. Hi, True Heart. I swear on her glasses. I can see it, but it's going so quick. Must be the shaman, eh? Okay, there you go. So this is the question. Hi, YILDIZ. What's your thoughts on purging spiritual weight? Okay, now you said it was in your lower chakras. Okay, we're at the three chakras, the lower three chakras. Okay, your lower three chakras, your base chakra at the moment, with Pluto retrograde, base chakra will be your family, your stability. So ask yourself, do you feel financially able to provide for yourself? Do you feel that you are strong? Is your home environment structured? Do you feel burdened, and do you feel adequate? The next one, creativity. Sometimes we can get, when we have, I call it a sloppy chakra, you will feel unmotivated. You will have gluttony going on. You will have, you won't feel confident in becoming creative and finding solutions and saying yes and no. The orange chakra is addictive tendencies. It's aggression, anger, mad. So you'll find it'll go from when it's blocked, it can come down to conditioning. So inner child will be your childhood, flat out, point blank, zero, right? Look at each chakra and it will be a culmination of a spiritual blockage, but it's everything we need at a root cause for survival, which is healthy boundaries, healthy give and take, ability to have fight and flight. Having those, when you're purging those, it is because of conditioning, but it's to do with patterns. So if you move those patterns and you get those moving, you're going to find the weight's going to come off, but it will be to do with your conditioning. But you're holding it inside the chakra of a belief system, and potentially it was a role you were playing for a while. I hope that helps. Okay, so how long have they been together, my lovely? I think it's their child together that keeps him there. Sometimes the karmic can be, and this is not for everyone, I would never presume to talk for everyone. A child will not keep you in a connection permanently, okay? It won't. If you are in communication with a person and you are empathizing and understanding, the mirror that is being shown to you is to do with your childhood and belief of parenting. So once you heal that, it will remove the blockage. But a child will not keep the person in the connection permanently. It will be guilt conditioning in a child, the beliefs of your role, which does make sense because we have bloody placements in Cancer. So have you been talking to that person? Have you been intimate with that person? How has the context of that connection been? You don't have to answer, right? It's your call. And I'll read some of the other comments. Oh, you're a dag, big casino. I like this. Oh, you got to see this. The karmic is like George Costanza with big hands. Okay, so what does that mean? Oh, goodness, not at all. Not for quite a while, yeah. Okay, Stella. How would I put this? It's, usually when we have a belief, it's because a circumstance we're directly in, we feel that's so. Yeah, when really it's permission-based. Do you get what I'm saying? It's sort of like, well, we give permission to people to control us. Does that make sense? And it's like, so it's not really that they have control. I remember a while ago, I used to think that full on. And then the karmics would think I was magician and magic. And it was like, no, mate, like if that was so, I would have magicianed that 20 years ago. You can't make a person do something. And if you are controlling them a lot, it actually makes them reject you a hell of a lot quicker. It's conditioning though. And yes, age can have a factor in it. But because we have the transits going through Pisces at the moment, it's going to make us actually have a bit of a shift. Hit you with it. Let's see, Google. Yeah, I think there's I think it's documents. There's documents. I have something to do with documents. I have to say, look, we'll chuck you up on the screen. There you go. I'll make you famous. Hey, hey, hey. Hit me with it. Okay, so whatever this person is going through is a contractual situation. It's looking a bit messy. I don't think the karmic has any power. It's in his hands. Yeah. Okay, so what vibrations have we all had coming up? Is it this person's giving to another, but they can't bloody give to me? Like, what is it that's coming up for us collectively? I have not had time to even think it. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so what we have for you is there does appear to be, I want to pull a clarifier on this. I'm kind of feeling this, something has gone down. Okay, what they haven't told you is I do think something is getting messy. There is maybe a legal situation, not that I can advise you legally, but I mean, this is the card of like a contract or they do want to talk to you about previous conversation. They're feeling a little bit like, you know, they didn't want that to actually happen. They didn't want the conversation to go the way it did. You know, that they didn't. I don't think the karmic and this individual is in communication. That child in reverse keeps coming up. What have we got? A Michael Jackson moment going on. This could be a person that had a child. It doesn't mean that your twin had a child. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe they were a parent in the context of this. Okay, they were lied to. There was some sort of lie told to them, but you're not trusting them at the moment. You feel something in the mix is hidden. Does that make sense? Yeah, something in the mix was hidden. There is something about to go down, but I'm seeing there's some sort of a situation that's being torn. It's kind of going. I do feel this person is separate. It may not have been so pretty. It's not looking like it was so pretty. Yes, they didn't tell you the whole truth. You may have felt that they weren't like telling the truth in relation to where they were at, but I feel like they just weren't up for it. They weren't up for it. They get it. Like you were thinking it's not over, but I kind of feel it potentially is. And again, they're mentioning the moon and Leo. They're mentioning the moon and Leo. That came through in your reading, didn't it? Okay. I get a feeling it's like, how would I say it? I wouldn't say it's on and off. I'd say it's more the documents as to, you know, things that they're trying to get organized, maybe negotiating, maybe communicating, but I don't think, like, could the person be out the door? Yes, I do feel so. Are you going to get a conversation with them? Yes, I feel it's near the Leo moon. Okay. Oh. Yeah, near the moon, they're saying there will be movement. But whatever's going down, it don't look so pretty. That's what I will say. Okay. It doesn't look so pretty. I hope that helps, Google. It don't look fun. FYI. You know? Let's see, Stella. What's going on with you? Have you been tired? No, it won't be because I've used StreamYards, okay? You'd have to go through to a different video and grab it, or just through to my website. But yeah, under the other videos that'll be there. Stella, are you feeling like, are you having a moment of what have you done for me lately, honey? Because you've got the card of gratitude in reverse. Are you feeling unloved? Are you feeling it's just, you know, you're feeling about unloved, doll? You'll usually know, Ben, because they're just they're difficult energies in your life. That's usually how you know. They're the one that it's the one that got away. It's the one that never goes. It's conflicting. So that, you know, it's usually not the prettiest situation. Like maybe some people would tell you it's not like a Bed of Roses journey. It's purgatory. A lot of connection spiritually, but it's difficult. So you usually know. You're like, oh, I'm kind of screwed. You have one of those moments. Stella, I'm feeling you have these old emotions coming up. I kind of feel like you're feeling very disconnected from your physical location at the moment. There's an upset brewing. Are you yearning for twin, like all of a sudden out of nowhere? I feel it's really low. The vibe's low. It's like you feel like a Martian on a planet. That's about the best way I can describe it. It's really strange how your vibe's coming through at the moment. I'll wait for you to respond, Stella, because it does. It feels a little bit down. It's almost like you feel you should be somewhere else. Well, I'll show you. You've got, like, it just feels really heavy and down. I feel you're picking up something from your twin, doll, but it could be urging you to address something in your life, and it's probably because you're a Libra and Aries and Chiron retrograde, and it is directly linked to your Venus house. And Jupiter's about to go retrograde too. So you're reminiscing, you're feeling the pull, you're feeling the urge, and you're feeling you're on an island and you thought that person was going to come and get their bloody Powerball and come save you. But now you're feeling in order to have that, you would have to do something. Okay? So you're having this foreign moment. It's like your limb's lost and you're trying to find it. Your conditioning's coming up. But this is my role. Remember what the twin flame video said. You feel your commitment energy of where you were. You maybe I'm silly. Why am I feeling this way? You've been down the rabbit hole with that. What do you value? Right? Not if they value you, you'll feel better wherever you are. Because the environment you're in at the moment feels like you're an alien. Right? You've known this for a very long time, but you know, the energy came back and it was like, this is feeling okay. I'm cool with this now. Now, this could be making you angry, moody. Okay. It's not as stable as you thought, but it's something because you're shifting. You're accepting a new belief about you and your connection, you and your connection to yourself as well. Pull your romance card. Don't be surprised if you burst out into tears. I literally feel it, but it's probably quite healing. You're going to have a shift up. There's something major at a heart-centered energy. You're going to have a major shift. It does feel emotional. Yellow chakra. If you could do anything, what would you do? Stella, what would you do? I would do anything. Yeah. Would you? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, because the mind is about conditioning. This is my role in society. It doesn't matter. I'm too old. I can't do it. Money. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind. For your heart is the gateway to the soul. So we can't say we're having, but you want it at a permanent level. A vacation is a base the turkey moment. You know, it's Christmas in July, but the permanency, that's almost like having plum pudding and never have a Christmas again. You want permanent plum pudding. Does that make sense? I can't, it's Christmas in July. I don't know. I'm worried about this Leo moon. This channeling has been coming through for a few months now. So I kind of get that might give you a little bit of energy for a bit on the vacation. I'm talking subliminal here. All right. But that's because she wrote she's going on vacation. Okay. But Stella, in the meantime, it's like it feels the message that is coming through is you need to make permanent decisions. Does that make sense, Stella? It's like you feel this urgency and this necessity to make a permanent decision. All right. That's how it's coming through. I don't know. Bear with me. Oh, my lantern. I'll be 5. I think I put the wrong password in. Who have we got next? Any questions, Stella? Like, do you kind of get what I'm saying? Oh, Lord. Here is my PayPal me link. I don't know if it'll work, but you can give it a shot. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's sort of like it's you, Stella. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you're feeling this longing, this need. If you feel foreign on a foreign land, it's just, yeah, it feels a bit heart-centered, doll. I feel for you. Just thanks for sharing, you know. It feels a bit, I wouldn't say a bit, it feels heavy as hell. Heavy, emotional, just, yeah, just really down. I've got to keep an eye on the time. I have clients today. So get your super chats in now, or we're going to be hitting the road. Yes, I will be a bit MIA in August. We get the first week, which should still be there. But the rest of it will be pre-recorded until I can get back live. Do you know what I mean? So with bookings online, the booking schedule would be blocked out because I'm transitioning to a new home. So you can, to get that support for your star signs, you can get the duo pack, which covers twin flame path and star signs. And it's only $35. Okay, it's cheaper than a reading. So go and grab it, give it a trial, give it a spin. Let's see what's coming through for you. Any insight on the DM? Why do I see a looking glass? Have you seen this person? Have you? I don't know why I'm saying social media. I literally see. It's like, it feels like something has been seen. I don't know what context that is. Apologies, I haven't had brekkie. And with the crown chakra, I am extremely thirsty at the moment. Sarah, I'm just staring at the screen. I've got to rotate it down. You can ask any question, Ben, for super chats, anything at all. You could ask me, is the Pope going to get married? Anything's possible. We do have Pisces there. Okay, so any insight? What am I saying? Okay, number one, it does feel research clue. It kind of feels like something has been visually seen. I don't know if this is a message. I see this person receiving a message at night time. Now, that can be on your side or their side. And I don't know, be it you're together, be it you're not. I'm seeing a bed. I'm seeing a person lying in bed, and I'm seeing a phone light up with a message coming through. Okay, this can be either you're receiving it, they're receiving it. They've got some good taste. Well, what sort of twin is this, hey? Is this caviar twin? This twin has good taste. What star sign is this twin? I'm telling you, they've got fine taste. Typical Libra, right? There's some nice sheets there. Is your twin well-to-do, doll? The building I'm seeing looks either it looks like it's some residence that they're living in, but I can see smoked black glass. It almost looks like a schwanky hotel. This could be maybe doing a trip for work or something to that degree, but I'm feeling there's a glass panel window and the bed, but it looks very modern. It looks a very modern home. There's something relating to a contract that they're severing at the moment. They feel grounded. I don't feel they're with anyone. I feel that they're alone. It could be that they're staying in a hotel room, right? Just take the wheel with this person. Goodbye. Okay, if this person, all I can say is if this person's dealing with a breakdown of contract, I do feel they're working, so I don't necessarily feel it's a working contract. I do feel they could be traveling for work in some shape or form, but I feel it's more, I don't know, it feels like they're in a hotel. He's well-to-do. So I do feel there is an issue in a relationship. Now, could it be in a business partnership? Yes, it could be. As to is this person with anyone? I'm not feeling so. I feel this person is completely single. It was kind of crappy the way it ended, but I really don't feel that this person is with anyone. They are really good at what they do. So they've got an eye for detail. They're very creative. They dress suavely. They've got, I love their sheets, girl. This person's got class. Okay. They're well-to-do, right? But they're they are in the Emperor. They're kind, understanding. They're not the type to drag you over the coals. Like, this is where they're at. So I feel this person in general is not a nasty person. They will do the right thing by you, even if they did. Yeah, I really, this is how I feel. Okay, this is the way they're reacting. At the moment with you, they are thinking about you. They are very well-to-do. They're very focused on fixing something relating to work. I don't know whether it's like building of homes or because, like I said, they've just got this really, they've got a fine eye for detail. Like I said, management, they're just in that spin. As for a relationship, no, but they are thinking about you. So that's where they're at. I hope that helps. But I do feel a message. There could be some communication that begins to exchange between the both of you. But they have had a separation. They're single. This person is really irritating me. I hope that helps. Are they having happy hour thoughts about you? Yes, they are. And I'm telling you, those sheets, they're fun. He's a Cancerian. Interesting. Well, I've got Cancer Moon rising, and I think it's yeah, business dealings at the moment, but I don't feel they're in a partnership. So yeah, there's a bit of travel going on, tying up loose ends with an old contract. But I kind of feel, yeah, I kind of feel it's over. They're single. So who did I have next? Yeah. They're very attractive. Thank you for sharing. Ben. Oh, Kerry. Jeez. Okay. We better close super chat pretty quick. So last call. Get your last one in or we're out. We've got Kerry. Let's see. Okay. Kerry, stop hiding. I think it's not through a necessity at the moment. I feel it's not for a reason. Does that make sense, Kerry? I kind of feel at the moment you're feeling this overwhelm that you have a lot to do. You're being strict on yourself. You want to go out and play, but at the minute you're kind of like, oh, I just want to stay. Like you could have some situations coming up where you don't want to actually leave the house, if that makes sense. But as for work and all the rest of it, I do have this feeling that you're super productive at the moment. There is a little bit of stress when it does come to getting things done, getting your tasks done. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, stop stressing. You'll get it done. But I think when we get that vibration high, you also could have this little bit of a feeling like you don't want to go out. I'm actually feeling trust your instincts. Yeah, I feel you're trusting your instincts. You're like, okay, it's like you're checking in with yourself. Should I go out today? Should I be worried about something? Trust your instincts, please. But I think overall it's kind of, how do I put it? It's like you're listening. You're listening, you're You're trusting your instincts. You have had a few triggers come up, but I think you're moving through them. You're like, I'm not doing that. I'm not looking at that. I'm letting that go. That's out of my control. I feel in the week coming, it's going to be very active. So I think you're correct in what you're doing. I think it's got, yeah, the more organized you can be, the better. As to romance, there's crap going down on that side. Okay, so I would say, especially from what I'm seeing in the cards, there's something going down. You potentially could be feeling, hey, if they broke up with that connection, would they even be ready for a connection? I wouldn't worry about that too much. I feel, I do feel it's there's regret here. There's regret. That's all I can say. But as for your working week and the things you're doing, you could have some friends, you know, looking at you like you're a little bit of a party pooper. Come and play. And you're like, I got 99 problems. I can't. I'd love to. You're just hiding. Come on, get out of your funk. No, I've got work to do. I've got a lot of work to do here. They think you're all work, no play. No, if Kerry gets her hair done, good God, right? Yeah, it's they think you're fibbing. No, you're trying to move your life in a different direction. You've got this cat in the bag. Yeah, you might get angry at them, so then better not push because you might bite. You might bite. And that could be with anybody. If anybody messes with Kerry, she's going to bite them. Right? I'm doing this as a favor to you, humanity. I, Kerry, am trying to get things done. Please don't mess with me. That should be your new paging service. Hi, I'm Kerry. Yeah. Who do we have next? Ben. Okay. I feel like a move of house is divinely timed so I can spiritually learn something in the here and now. What zodiac sign are you, Ben? Spiritually, I do feel a lot of people will actually be moving. Does that make sense? It's like we will actually be kind of shifting about. It's quite funny. When you say learn something different, I actually feel it could even be your trade that you end up doing will be something different. I laughed. Yeah, transits at the moment, both relating to money, movement of house. We're going to be very connected to different countries because of the transits. So it could be all of a sudden we're attracted to foreign cuisine and, you know, it might be spicy foods, especially today. We've got transits happening in Taurus. So you'll want the finer things. You'll want more the things that can connect to your senses. You do have luck around you. Yeah, it feels that you're kind of looking at it's actually opening up your third eye to be looking at the ways you can do life, right? It gives you structure, it gives you movement, it gives you flexibility. But you know, when you start on YouTube, you've got the star. This is your energy, right? You'll see movement, you'll see change. Wealth and the way we gain wealth is changing. But it's to do with spirituality. And when we're in the magician energy, we actually manifest things a lot higher. But I do spiritually feel for you, it's almost like I feel traveling, you know, and it's Yarn on YouTube actually has talked about that. But I feel spiritually, it's like actually traveling. It's like traveling blogging. Does that make sense? Cool. Yeah, no, I do feel there is movement for you here. But there's something in you that's changing. Look, you've got a lot of light around you, Ben, honestly. It feels very light. It feels very positive. I really don't have a bad feeling anywhere you go. I don't. There almost feels like your guides are actually protecting you. You have a very interesting energy. Do you have a contract at the moment? Because they're making mention of a contract that is binding, something that's holding you here at the moment, wherever that is. But after that, they're kind of saying something is coming to an end, a transition between where you are. It's almost like, I don't know why I'm picking tiny house. Yeah, I wouldn't pick you as a tiny house person, but it could be tiny houses, like maybe getting rid of things that you don't need, not resonating at that level, and going more the spiritual route. Does that make sense? Because you've got some ending of life, but it does feel you're going to have to get rid of something. I also feel some sort of an industry that you're like doing, it's kind of merging. It's like two industries coming together. Now you're either moving closer to family or further away. But I'm seeing an end of the contract first. I am seeing some money from the past coming back to you that was owed. I don't know who owes you money, but there's something to do with money being owed. I feel you kind of have this carefree kind of attitude that you don't really, it's like if you loaned somebody something, it's sort of like you've kind of given it up. You know what I mean? It's like, it is what it is. But some blessing is coming back to you from the past. The people around you that love you do literally look at you as someone who is quite adventurous, someone who is quite like, let's just hit the road, let's just go and do it. Does that make sense? Sydney, so I don't know, they do look up to you, man. They look up to you and they're like, where they want a bit of your light. Does that make sense? They kind of look at you as the type of person that you'll try anything new, you'll be open to it. People want to be like you, but people fear being like you, and you make it look easy. You're very loving. I do feel travel. I do feel there is, yeah, you do. Yes. You got that Sagittarius vibe, let's go and have some fun. Let's go get that done. Okay, do you have, is there an unwell relative at the moment? And I don't feel they're super sick. I don't know who this is, but this could be a mother energy. There's a female energy here, or it could even be a sister. Yeah, you have a lot of women around you, right? Women like you, but it's friends. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like soul connections. There are people that are drawn to you. Okay. They're stressed over a situation also happening in their family. But I tell you, like, there is this, everything feels light around you. So, there's dramas happening in families. You bring light to that person's life. Does that make sense? I don't think that side of the fence for them is it's you are the lighter side of the fluffy cloud. They could be a little bit more serious. Yeah, look, she does love them, but at times she does feel it's too much. I don't, extra. It's extra. She wants to be like you. Even though deep down you probably have all these deep simmering feelings, but I think it's like you're ready for these new horizons. There's crap going down in their family. It's just like, I don't know what it is, but it's repetitious, she may make out like it can get into victim consciousness. I have to do this. I have to do this. But meanwhile, really, look, she just hates it. She gives too much. They're driving her batshit crazy. She's like, no matter what I do in this family, it's just something. So, COVID probably for her gave her a bit of a break. Gave her a bit of a break where she could actually just go, okay, universe has put me in the naughty corner. I'm going to care for me. This is where it's all going to come up for her. Even, have you mentioned to her what your plans were to do with moving and changing? Because it's almost like, if she has kind of responded in a very abrupt way, it's kind of like she's coming through like, that would really be a good idea, but it's not fair because I have all these responsibilities. Do you, right? What you do, if you want to swing that ship around, do your chores. then go and do something fun. Offer. No? Okay, go to the beach. Let's go. You don't want to go? I totally understand. I'll have dinner ready for you when you get home. She and I have been moving to that. Sometimes it's putting that first step. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this is never going to, it's a little bit like a wedding. Anyone ever say for a wedding in the house? Had a girlfriend that gave me the best advice. And it's more to do with not the marriage necessarily, but physically making a plan and following through. How do you do it? You make a savings account. You plan a date, and that's your cutoff point, and then you amputate. You know? You make it happen. And the moon in, the transit's happening in Leo. It's going to make us do that. I hope that helps. Well, I do see it. You're like willing to do it. You want to be adventurous and jump in. You're going to have to get through this person to actually, but something is shifting in their family. And I do think that it's dramas. It's going to keep being dramas. She's more than likely going to want to. Does that make sense? I hope that helps, Ben. But yeah, I see you doing things that are taking you to your bliss, man. I see you being around people that are giving that to you. They're the lighter side of life. So hopefully in some context that helps. Do I have a twin? You told me I had 2 people coming. Is one an ex? When I channel at that moment, then it's a new channeling. Let's see what's coming through. 2 people, generally, especially in a twin flame path, you will know who your twin is because they're, I don't want to generalize. I don't really like tagging, but it's a pain in the butt, okay? Let's just be honest. It is hard work. You have a love-hate relationship. You are looking at them like they are the oxygen on the planet, and you would really like to just throw up at the same time, okay? Because it's just hard. You generally, no matter what you do, no matter what you go through, it is like a best friend connection. Because you forgive. Now, is it that we forgive forever? It's, yeah, I would say, but it's more the context of the way you view it's just going to evolve like a revolving door. Do you have to be with your twin? No, you don't. And I'll explain the reasons why. When you get to your total healing point and you'll become whole in yourself, everything that person is to you is still going to be who they are. It will be a choice to be with them, which is great. It's not, oh my God, the ascension's killing me. This is a physical choice. You harmonize me, I harmonize you, I'm able to be who I am. Now, the reason I potentially was picking up 2 energies, which is usually how manifestation works in a person's life, is because sometimes we are picking a safe option, and so we will attract 2. And especially because of the transits at the moment, you can attract 2. Okay? So if you have felt on the fence, Jennifer, it is because you are looking at something and it feels nostalgic, reminiscent, safer, more an alignment of what would be a traditional connection. Pardon me, I'm talking so much. And I've got the heater on. Why would I do that? I'm like I'm in Port Hedland. Okay. You're stressed. You don't want to make the wrong decision. You've got to let something go. But what you've got to get is what is your belief system here? You're attracting this into your life. There's one you've got chemistry with, but there's one that was maybe more stable. It's funny because the other person kind of feels really light. I don't know. How can I explain that in spirituality in layman's terms? It's like a soft aura. Somebody that doesn't have backbone, somebody that doesn't, it's like the handshake is really light. It's like, grab your aura together, man. Shake it in there. Feel connected. It feels like they're out of their body. They're nice. They're giving, they're understanding, but it's a little bit too nice. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a bit, no, it's too feminine. It's Nice. Does that make sense? That bloody banner down the bottom is really pegging me off. I feel like I'm going in donuts. Oh, gosh. What have we got? So, there is a colleague as well at work. I don't know why they're mentioning colleague at work. Past tense, previous. Okay, my guides have asked me to ask you, what is the reason why you feel a connection is, how do I explain that? Why would you choose a connection? That's all they're asking. I've got to ask you the question. That's what they want me to ask. Because the key to it is there is a difference between love and a reason we need somebody. Does that make sense? I don't know. Your guides are interesting. Yes, Jennifer. Okay, so everything I was saying previously was for you, but the marker will be up on the video. So when you kind of drag it back, you'll be able to see that. Now, what I'm getting in the mix is your guides are asking me to ask the reason why between these two individuals you feel you are ready and wanting a direct relationship, because it's a bit of a sleuth. There's a clue to it. Does that make sense? You're wounded, you struggle. There's an area in your life you're struggling with. That's the blockage and that's the solution all at once. What do they mean by that? You should know. It's your message. Okay, do you have the courage to walk your truth? Because whatever this is, you're dealing with a conflicting situation, all right? You're in a bit of a pickle. One you do love. One, the other one is saying to me, a man is not a plan, and it's an analogy. That's all. There is a difference between loving and needing someone. Because sometimes these roles that we're doing in our life, we actually just need to drop them, and then would we actually need that person anymore? No, because we want to be wanted, not needed. Needed is inner child. Needed is, I need you to feed me. I need you to protect me. This cycle, I feel, Jennifer, honestly, the way it's been shown to me, it's a memory of a previous person, doll. It's a memory of a previous person. It can be beliefs to do with connections, but I do feel this is you healing from a previous connection separate to twin. And so while you're doing that, it's sort of like you kind of, when you're going through that healing stage, you're kind of looking at what another person did to you, how things were, trying to forgive yourself, trying to forgive them, trying to understand it, as well as comparing notes against your twin. And they're two different situations. But it does show you what your ideal and belief systems are inside of connections. And then when you come to duality of becoming that new version of you, your twin comes back in. But while we are, a lot of times when your twin's in a karmic relationship, you are too, but it's psychologically. Does that make sense? They're like, I'm single, so why isn't twin? Yes, but have you let go of your past? Have you come to terms with it? Have you forgiven yourself? Have you forgiven it and just let it go? And it doesn't mean forgiveness is that is okay. It's when you're psychologically thinking on it, you're living in the past, you're healing from past things. So your aura's not open. Why do you think a lot of times when we get rid of assets, something's replaced? It's generally because you've made room for it. You've closed one door and the other can open. Okay? So that door's not closed at the moment and you need to heal it. There's wounds. All right? Let those wounds go. They're a burden to carry. You don't have to carry them anymore. Stop being so hard on yourself. It was what it was. You did the best you could. They did the best they could, but it was a burden. Look at it both in the light and the dark, not just all the positive. Light and the dark, you actually didn't have the chemistry, right? Not really. Right. It was a rough connection, you know. It was difficult. It was a difficult time. You're on the right path. That's all I've got to say. But this is why, this is where the blockage is. So at least you know where the blockage is and you can work on it. And that's going to help you move into alignment and be open to this. You know, stop feeling guilty for being who you are. Stop feeling guilty for the things that you need. Be patient with your healing, but also stop being so hard on yourself. Because I feel you kind of, when you're doing that, right, it generally keeps you stagnant, dull. Okay? Take care. I hope that helps. If you guys want to grab a subscription, get on it now before August, because I will be away. Yes, you will get your twin flame content online. Anytime I can't come live to you, I have allocated time to get the pre-recordings done so that you have it covered. But make sure you go and grab your subscription so that you are covered. The duo pack is $35 for the whole month. You get 4 additions to masculine, 4 additions to feminine, 4 additions to karmics, and 2 additions to your star sign with your chakras, your career sector, your health, your love, all for $35. Won't be there forever. Okay? Take care. I'll see you soon.